वेलकम बैक।
ब्राजील में वज़ीर आला पंजाब मरियम नवाज शरीफ का तकरीब से खिताब जारी। आइए आपको बराह रास्त ले चलते हैं।
Central digital governance system, ensuring transparency, accountability, and ecological resilience. Once the cry of the wild in Punjab was fading, the rivers had grown silent, the forests were shrinking, and the flight of our birds had become a rare sight. But today, the wilderness breathes again. Under the Punjab Wildlife and Biodiversity Revival Programs, we have launched the most ambitious rescue, rehabilitation and conservation movement in Pakistan's history, a renaissance of compassion and coexistence. Since March 2024, Punjab has led a province-wise operation that has rescued over 35,000 rare birds. And that has rescued 700 animals. With the first ever dedicated bear rehabilitation, the enclosure that we set up at Lahore Safari providing sanctuary to 23 rescued bears, cute ones. For the first time, AI-driven drone surveys are mapping wildlife habitats across the province, while Pakistan's first ever black buck drone census, the first of its kind in the world, has set a global benchmark in conservation science. Through an AI-based wildlife consensus being conducted in partnership with IUCN, Punjab is building a living digital map of every species across our ecosystem. But beyond the data, ladies and gentlemen, lies a human story of empathy and innovation. We have approved the first ever wildlife rescue rangers force equipped with rescue vehicles, electric bikes, and again GPS collars to track rehabilitated animals. 3 modern rescue centers and a wildlife helpline now operate round the clock to save injured or endangered species. A new wildlife hospital, the largest and the most advanced in South Asia, is under construction in Punjab, ensuring that treatment and care match the standard of our compassion. Ecotourism has been reborn in Punjab. Projects worth over 8.7 billion are transforming natural sites into model nature destinations, while new zoological and biodiversity parks are redefining how people experience nature responsibly. Punjab has also strengthened justice for wildlife. The Punjab Wildlife Act and Protected Areas Act now includes special courts, whistleblower protections, and penalties up to 7 years imprisonment, and 5 million rupees in fines for cruelty or illegal trade. Something I'm really very, very proud of. A new wildlife force of around 600 officers, 25% of which are women, now enforces these laws with strength and sensitivity. This is more than conservation, certainly. It is resurrection. The forests are no longer silent. The lakes are no longer still. The heartbeat of the wild has returned to Punjab. Because in every rescued bear, in every rescued animal, every soaring black buck, and every child walking through a safari with wonder in their eyes, we see not just wildlife restored, but humanity renewed. True resilience begins with governance and ends with justice. I personally chair the Punjab Climate Council, bringing together every department from energy to irrigation under one coordinated framework. Through the Special Investment Facilitation Council and Punjab Board of Investment and Trade, we have global partners to co-create a green economy, from waste to energy and e-mobility to renewable housing and blue economy restoration. Excellencies, from the heart of the Amazon to the plains of the Indus, from the glaciers of the north to the deltas of the south, one truth resounds. We are one humanity breathing through one planet. Our world may be divided by geography, but it is united by breath. The air that leaves the Amazon reaches the Himalayas. The melt of one glacier feeds the river of another land. In the shared breath lies our shared destiny. The earth does not need saving, we do. Because the true measure of leadership today is not power over others, but partnership with nature. Let us rise together, ladies and gentlemen, not as nations divided by borders, but as custodians bound by shared purpose. Let COP30 not be remembered as just another conference, but as a covenant of will, a turning point where moral courage meets practical action. Let this be the decade when humanity rediscovers its balance with nature, its humility before creation, and its hope in each other. In each other, ladies and gentlemen. From the forests of the Amazon, where we stand here today, to the fields of Punjab that you saw on the screen, let's build an alliance of green hearts, a coalition of compassion that transcends geography and politics. Let every ton of waste turn to energy, every girl train in climate innovation, or every child for that matter train in climate innovation, and every tree planted in a forgotten village become part of one shared legacy. A planet renewed by justice and humanity. Because in the end, the planet will endure, but our compassion will redefine what we do. Let us move from recognition to reconstruction, from pledges to partnerships, from despair to determination, from Belém to Punjab, from river to rainforest. May we breathe as one, may we build as one, may we rise as one for our shared tomorrow, for our shared planet. If the 21st century is to have meaning, let it be known as the century when humanity finally made peace with its planet. But let it also be known as the moment when the global South found its voice not in protest but in purpose. The time has come to redefine the balance between the global North and the global South, not built on aid but on accountability, not on pity but on partnership. The global North must lead with responsibility, and global South with innovation and resilience. Together, we can turn historic inequality into shared purpose, and shared purpose into planetary survival. When nations that suffered the most, yet contributed the least, stood up not as victims of climate change, but as leaders of climate justice. When we declare that compassion is our currency, Equity is our demand, and shared survival is our politics. At COP30, ladies and gentlemen, let the global South rise together, united in resolve, equal in dignity, and unstoppable in belief that climate action is not charity, it is justice. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
पंजाब मरियम नवाज शरीफ का तकरीब से खिताब जारी था, जिसमें उनका बताना था कि जंगली हयात और जंगलात के तहफ़्फ़ुज़ के लिए बेशुमार इक़दाम किए जा रहे हैं। पंजाब में शजरकारी मुहिम पर खुसूसी तवज्जो दी जा रही है और इसके लिए इक़दाम किए जा रहे हैं। मौसमियाती तब्दीली से निमटने के लिए सबको आगे आकर मिलकर काम करना होगा। जंगलात के तहफ़्फ़ुज़ के बगैर मौसमियाती तब्दीली के चैलेंज से निमटना मुमकिन नहीं है। तमाम शोबों में शफाफियत और मेरिट को यकीनी बनाया जा रहा है।